Mangala's exit edges ever closer as the new team comes in with a new bid. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. In today's video, we're going to be telling you about the latest news on Mangala as a new club has come in with a more attractive bid. We'll talk to you about the goalkeeper situation as Nuno says no. And we now know the type of players and positions Nuno is going after this transfer window. There's a lot to update you on. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And don't forget, tonight there's a small matter of Blackpool as Bristol City went through and knocked out West Ham. Are you now more interested in the FA Cup run? Road to Europe, remember that. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's kick this off and let's start with Mangala because the news is interesting as a new bidder has come onto the table. And this offer is way better because there's an obligation to buy it. And for me, that is key. Oh, look at that. That rhymes as well. All right, let's take you through the details. So Stade Rennais, I can't say their name. I'm not even going to try. French team, 10th in the league, have entered the race and submitted an official offer to Mangala. For Mangala, sorry. The offer is a 6-month loan with an obligation to buy of around 25 million euros, including add-ons. And the news is that Napoli and Juventus are still very interested. And this is good news for Forest. Now, I'm going to ignore the fact about whether Mangala should stay or go. I'm now looking at it from a business point of view. If Forest are going to do this, we've got to get the best deal possible. And what this is going to do, and I don't think Mangala would be that interested in this club, but this puts a concrete offer as a minimum bid, if you like, that Forest will be interested in. Now, remember we told you that Forest value Mangala at about £21.5 million. So 25 million euros is pretty much where Forest are. Again, we could have a whole debate of how much Mangala's worth. If you want to do that, do it in the comments below. After, of course, you've downloaded SofaScore. But this is key because the offers from Napoli and the offers from Juventus were loans with an option to buy. Neither of them had gone for an obligation. And I think Forest will be interested in this. But I think Forest will want this from Napoli or Juventus to let this deal go through because, again, I don't think Mangala is that interested in going to the French league. However, a Belgium international with the Euros coming up, French speaking as well, it could all kind of tick his boxes. So it's very interesting. And that's going to develop. And I think this will start to develop very quickly because Nuno was asked today in his press conference, what's going on with the transfers, mate? Our players coming in, our players going out. And he said they're constantly looking at it day in, day out. The key thing, and I think this will be the ironclad indicator, is what happens tonight against Blackpool. Will Mangala play in the team? I think probably not. Will he be named in the squad? That's going to be the key interesting thing. Now, I think he'll be put on the bench just to pipe down any speculation on him, but I can't see him starting. And I don't think Forest would start him at the risk of him getting injured when he's on the cusp of being sold. But what do you guys think about that Mangala story? Let me know in the comments down below. By the way, we've also got some bad news to tell you about. Remind me at the end. Well, you can't because this isn't live, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on to story number 2. And some of you may look at this one as bad news because I kind of do and I kind of don't. But Nuno is not going for a goalkeeper. Nuno says no. He's going to stick with Turner and he's going to stick with Vlachodimos because he thinks he can get the best out of either both of them or one of them or either of them. And I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced on this one. Look, if anyone's going to improve these goalkeepers, you would expect a seasoned professional goalkeeper such as Nuno to be able to do it. So I'm going to do something that I haven't been used to doing for the last 18 months. I'm going to trust in the manager. Clearly, Nuno's seen something in either Turner or Vlachodimos that he likes and that he thinks he can progress forward. I think tonight again will be interesting. Will Vlachodimos start? He started at Blackpool in the home leg. Again, didn't make any mistakes, but didn't make any saves. It's the classic of Vlachodimos. I personally still think Vlachodimos is the better of the two. I just do. I've said it from the start of the year. I feel that way. I've not been happy with either, but I kind of thought Forest would go in for a goalkeeper, a lone goalkeeper. There was talks that Navas was going to come back. There was little whispers here and there, fun rumours saying Ramsdale from Arsenal may be coming to Forest. There was no legs in that, but hey, it was fun to speculate. But at the moment, it looks like there's just no good enough goalkeeper or a goalkeeper within the budget that would come. Now, if Vlachodimos starts tonight, does that automatically mean he starts against Brentford at the weekend? We don't know. I think we're not going to know for sure who his number one is until we've seen the Brentford game and the Arsenal game. And then I think he's got to just stick with that goalkeeper. If he's made his mind up that, let's just say Vlachodimos is going to be his number one, then you've got to kind of stick with them through the mistakes that may happen, just because that keeper's going to need a run. And because you don't want this double number one scenario, it just gets too messy with goalkeepers for me. So who would you go with, guys? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to say Vlachodimos, just because Turner's mistakes infuriate me, but his shot stopping is better. But I'll still stick with Vlachodimos for now, but I am open to change my mind. All right, let's move on to the next story because there is still plenty more to get you guys up to speed on. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And the third story is Nuno's actual plan. So we know, and he said again in his press conference today, made a bit of a joke about it, about how tight the changing rooms are. He likes a tightly knitted squad, but not in the literal sense of it. So definitely Forest are going to be getting more out than in this transfer window. But the two key positions that are coming out now is he wants another striker and he wants another winger. And I agree with those positions. We need a backup for Taiwo, and we definitely need, I'd probably say two wingers, unless of course, I'm not going to say the D word, but well, I'll say it, unless we bring Dennis back. So those are his two priorities for this transfer window. I'd chuck a goalkeeper in there as well. But this brings on the interesting point about Divock Origi, because the rumblings coming out are that Forest are thinking about keeping the loanees. They're thinking about keeping Nuno Tavares. They're thinking about keeping Divock Origi. And Montiel's probably going to be signed permanently if he carries on his current form. But I think with Divock Origi, this is going to be pending the January transfer window. So what do I mean by this? If Forest are able to get in a backup striker, then we're going to have Taiwo, who's 2 weeks away from rejoining full training. So expect to see him somewhere around the Bournemouth or Newcastle game. So we'll have him. We'll have this new backup striker, Chris Woods, and then Origi. At that stage, that's going to be too many for Nuno. He won't want 4 number 9s, even though technically Origi can play it on the wing. And that might be something else, is that if we can't get in a winger, because what you could sense with Nuno is not frustration, but his concerns where it's quite hard to get the right player in. If we don't get that winger in, then you may see Origi kept as a winger rather than a number 9 if we can bring in a number 9. But I think what we're going to see this transfer window is 2 or 3 players max coming in. And you'd probably think 5 to 7, maybe even 8 try to be moved on to reduce that squad size. And then quite a few maybe going out on loan as well. So expect this squad size to drastically come down. And this is another thing, is that Forest are going to want to make the appearance of their recruitment strategy look a lot more calm this January in front of the allegedly corrupt Premier League, and with the PSR charges, etc., hanging over our heads. So this is going to be the strategy. Do I agree with it? Yeah, it needs to be done. But I still think a keeper needs to be on that shopping list. Now, one person that isn't going to be on that shopping list is Cyril, the guy we told you Forest were linked with last week. He has gone to Napoli for 18 million euros. And I really, really like the look of that player. He would have been perfect for us. My worry is if we get Alejo, then keep Origi, because Alejo to me does not look it. And it may be him that we end up getting because he's only going to cost us £1 or £2 million to get over the line. But what you can see from Nuno is his philosophy is aligning nicely with what Forest need to do currently in the transfer market and the squad size. So everything looks like it's currently fitting, which is good. It's good. We've just got to get past this stupid FFP crap and we will be fine. And the thing is, a lot of people are asking me, well, can we actually buy players this window? The answer is 1,000,000% yes. Technically, Jono's money, his transfer fee, has gone into the next year of the FFP calculations. And on top of that, Forest have lost one of the championship years where you can only go 13 million over the limit. So now we get the extra 35 million, well, minus the 13, plus the Jono money, plus another couple of sales here and there. I think Sam Surridge might have gone as well on this side of it. So there's plenty of money for Forest to spend if they actually wanted to. The funny thing is, we probably can spend more than we spent in previous windows and be well within FFP currently. So I do expect potentially, and what I hope to happen is that the 2 or 3 signings we do get are going to be good kind of 20 million players, something like that, 20, maybe 30 on a striker, strategic, surgical, and then we can just kick on and shoot up the league. It's all good in theory, though. It's all good in theory. But what I want to ask you guys is, what do you think of the strategy? Are you happy with the way Nuno's going? Do you see 2 or 3 players in that striker and winger position being the right call? Or do you maybe think we need an extra centre-back or a goalkeeper? Let me know in the comments down below. We'll be back with you guys tonight for the watch along. If you're not going, make sure you join us tonight. If you haven't already, hit that like button on the video. Subscribe to FFTV if you are new. Looking forward to chatting to you guys on the watch along. And as always, come on you Reds.